I was.
Oh, should have known.
Definitely was.
Good?
Yeah. What's
You
going
sure?
on, man? Yeah. What's going on, man?
I'm good. And let me ask you again, you good?
I'm great.
Because you always got something last
No,
minute.
I'm good. Look, I'm doing everything now. I'm good to go. I'm having a great weekend. How's your weekend? Doesn't matter, but how is it?
Hey, listen, man, my weekend was awesome.
Yeah?
I just want you to know that my weekend was awesome.
Okay.
I didn't watch football because, I don't need that ain't my thing. But anyway.
Your world.
I'm kind of like, me, I ain't normally like speechless, but I am. But again, we got two very, very special guests up here today. And, I don't steal anybody's thunder. So we'll let you all introduce yourself so we can kick this off because I know people are really ready for this one. So, ma'am, if you do the honors, can you tell us who you are? Tell the people who you are.
Hey, Mike, who you calling ma'am? Which one?
I'm calling Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, ma'am.
All right, good. Well, listen, hey, Joe Bass here. Excited to be with the Unpopular Celebrities. I'm going to have to ask you all later what that's about.
Absolutely.
Why you call yourselves that, but really excited to spend a little bit of time with you. It is a Sunday in the Bass House, and in the Bass House, we do watch football. And so I am very relaxed, enjoying my time with my family because balance is pretty important to us. Also pretty excited today because my Chiefs finally did their thing. And the last 2 weeks they were just warming up still. But anyway, they finally did their thing. So I'm having a little bit of coffee and enjoying my time.
I'm Tish, and a lot of people call me PJ. I'm actually a former defender as well. So I served in the United States Air Force for about 14 years. And I am the founder of Life of a Military Child.
Chief Bass, I wanted to say first, congratulations to the Eagles, or excuse me, see, I said the Eagles, the Chiefs, for getting the win over the Eagles. One of our good followers, Chief Master Sergeant Council, is a big Eagles fan. So I'm glad you dropped that 42 burger on him. It's a great win. So I have some things to talk to him about later.
Just want to let you know too, ma'am. He put a couple boos in there when you said
about that. Is that Dana Council?
That's him, and I'm snitching.
That's
him.
That's it.
Anything when it comes to this book adventure that we have started and this book that we're getting ready to release on Life of Military Child and Resiliency is all unofficial.
Okay.
It is done in the capacity of Joe Bass, the person, the mom, the wife, not as Chief Master Sergeant of the Air Force, by the way. The royalties that would go to me are being donated to a children's organization. And so it's a win. We get to publish a book. We get to hopefully educate children on resiliency skills and their parents or whoever is reading with them, and also be able to pour into some charities of our choice.
Right. I'm gonna jump right off with here go Chief Counsel off the bat. His question is, what was the biggest challenge when writing the book? Chief, I know your schedule is busy. So what was on your end? What was the biggest challenge for you?
I think PJ would probably say the biggest challenge was my schedule. And
we were in sync. I can tell you that. But I know right in the book, she made a comment. She said, "You're a defender. You're a defender." Because you know how sometimes we will go off and think about, ways to handle situations because we're always on scene and we're like, and so she read a couple of things of us going back and forth and she said, "There's your defender coming out."
Yeah. And what I might offer, Pete, is I don't even think that, resiliency isn't a military child thing. Like resiliency and building resilient children who have coping mechanisms. It's universal. Doesn't matter what nationality you are, where you're from, like we have to teach that earlier to our children, how to build grit. I'll never forget being deployed downrange. And my husband, by the way, Army guy, that's why I think I connect with defenders so much. Army guy, we say a lot of hooah in my house. It's a little strange. But he got first world problems. They get stressed out if they can't get the new Jordans. I'm like, are you crazy right now? Like,
me too.
So you too, Pete. Like I want to hear it. But when I say that jokingly, but that's just of connectedness.
Yep.
Okay.
I think that's she kind of stole my favorite part, but that was my favorite part was the connectedness that everybody had, a community. And when we say a community, we're not just talking about outside your house.
Right.
We're talking about a full blown community, a whole base or a whole neighborhood. It's a lot of people in your community.
Yeah.
And when,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
And shout out to your husband, because I'll be the exact same way if I had a daughter.
I was in his shoes.
Yeah.
I was in his shoes. My wife went back to work, and it took me probably about 40 minutes to do a ponytail. I'm not even going to exaggerate. It was on the side of her head. You know, I thought I did something though. So I can feel his pain 100%.
I'll be sitting there with a ruler.
Oh yeah.
But figure out the middle.
Yeah. But you're right. We had
me, I love on the weekends, I love to do a lot of research. And that was it. So children do not like books over 800 words if they're like 3 to 8. So that's a big thing too, because remember, my other challenge was having all of these ideas and trying to put it into one storyline. The book itself is a twofer. So
dropping dimes on us. Yeah, I didn't know that.
I appreciate you saying that, because the book is not your average children's reading book.
And she said, best piece of advice you have for military families and their babies. That's going to go to you too.
All right.
Yeah.
Chief, we do the honors first, ma'am.
I see everybody looking at me because I'm like, PJ.
They're asking you, hey, do you need anything?
Right.
Especially when I was a defender at the gate, they always say, hey, you need anything? Well, can you go get that coffee?
Yeah.
But no, seriously.
Okay. Chief,
don't forget patient.
Oh yeah. We need about 7 gallons of that a day. You know how to you need 7 gallons of patience when you're a parent. I recognize, especially your parent of a teenager. I recognize that 100%. So
especially the parent of a girl teenager.
Yeah. And my youngest is the girl. So if my wife could chime in right now, she probably just bash me on how much my daughter rules the house. I got a guinea pig story, but I'm not going to tell it. I just want y'all to know my daughter has a hairless guinea. Well, he knows.
I want to know, like, and all the people listening, like, raise your hand. How many of y'all have told your kids, do not embarrass like this name?
Other than that, pre-sales for just paperback and ebook are on Amazon.
I see what you did that strategically on the 15th, so nobody has excuses about not having any money. So y'all got it on the 15th.
Smart move. Yeah. Smart move. Good one. That was a good one.
And help change the trajectory of our Air Force. But anyway, yep, I had that car for a while. It was a great car.
Honda is a good car.
You know what? I can relate. I had a Ford Focus when I first got my first car, and I put a navigation system in it.
And then the motor blew.
Yeah.
And then the motor blew.
The navigation, or the car couldn't keep up with navigation. One was moving faster than the other. I'm not sure whose technology was moving first.
You would do something like that.
But I thought I was the coolest thing on the block. You couldn't tell me nothing, because when it worked good.
Ford Focus, huh?
Ford Focus.
Right.
And it was a stick.
Yeah.
And it was a stick.
You had some 23-inch rims.
No.
Hey, before we run out of time, I want to know about Unpopular Celebrities. What's up with the name?
Fame, give them a platform for them to come and tell who they are, so the rest of the world can know why they're special. So,
man, I love that. Okay, so y'all need to start saying that in the beginning.
Okay.
Like, I'm serious. So y'all got me in my feels. Like, I love hearing that, because I tell people that all the time. All of us are somebody, to somebody.
Right.
You need to say that in the very beginning.
Gotcha. We put that down.
I put it down. I'll go get his LOR ready as well. Yeah.
Oh my God.
We got it. We got it, Chief. We gonna put that out there. Make sure we put it out there. So.
Ooh, why you give me that? the answer should be cash, but I always give credit.
One more.
Calling or texting?
Calling.
Chemistry.
Pen or pencil?
Pencil.
Well, we definitely appreciate y'all joining us today. Hope y'all have a wonderful rest of your day. Like I said, we always be here.
Love that.
Okay,
Thanks so much, y'all.
Thank
Absolutely.
you. Y'all have a good day. Make sure y'all go get the book. See y'all later.
Peace.
Thank you. Bye.
I got my coffee, my Starbucks.
Yeah. Oh, Starbucks this time. McDonald's gonna go ahead and sue you now.
You got to bring up McDonald's every time.
Yeah, because you need to
This is a special one though.
We just lost all our sponsorship with McDonald's because you want those Starbucks.
Whatever, man. Look,
did you pay it for it?
No.
So you selfish.
Whatever.
So you selfish. Okay.
It's a special one right here today.
Started writing some more. Started working on my actual first real book, but in full length book. So been doing that, man. Just finished it. 55,000 words.
Yeah.
So we're ready to go.
In 1994, and before that, what started you to jump on this Air Force road and decide that this was the path you was going to go on?
Hey man, that's a great question. And I tell you, that small book I put out, 80 pages, I put that out actually 2 weeks before I retired. And I literally just wrote it all down. It was thoughts. That's like thoughts of mine over 25 years, that what inspired me, people I met, and what was my leadership philosophy. So it wasn't even meant to ever come out. I never meant to publish it. It was something I did self, and I was just going to give it to some people. And then some folks told me to kind of put it out, and then it just went out. But to answer that question, man, is what the real first book is about, and it's called Why Not Me, right? Why Not Me? Born to Fail, Destined to Succeed. That's actually the book. Because even I was with Pete for a couple of years, and Pete met me at a point in my life, man, where you can kind of look at me and say you got it all together. This dude got, like he just said in the beginning of the podcast, I never seen this dude lose. And as I went through my career after I met, I think I was a tech or a master back then in the Air Force, and my career was kind of taking off. That's the point it took off. But what people didn't know about me, and what Pete probably never knew about me, he about to learn, is man, that was after I done had a long road, man, and I still had a long road after I met Pete. So, but for me, man, so I tell people, look, man, don't judge me by the cover you see on my latest album, bro. don't judge me today, because you think I'm selling 40 million albums. There was one time where I was selling CDs out the trunk.
Like you said, I met you and you were my supervisor for a while, and I really appreciate everything you did. And I don't even know if you know the influence that you had on me, especially that young in my career. And like you said, the shit I saw, it was just everything was perfect. It was like Rose, and you could adapt and adjust to any situation. And we won't tell all the situations on the podcast here.
But Air Force, the only reason I'm in the Air Force is because a recruiter came to my school one day, and that's the second time he's been in my school that whole year. And I just happened to meet the guy, and the only reason we hit it off because our first name was the same. Staff Sergeant Todd Remington was my recruiter. I took the ASVAB in the 10th grade, and when I met my recruiter, I was a senior, and he looked at my ASVAB score and said, you don't even have a high enough score to enter the Air Force.
Wow.
There was absolutely no compelling reason for that dude to put me in the Air Force, other than he must have just saw how desperate I was.
To just give him a chance, and I'm glad he gave you the chance, because we able to sit here and get this knowledge and for you to pass on your tools to our toolbox now. So thanks to that thing, I appreciate you, recruiter. If you hear this, you definitely gave us
never had anybody believe in me until that dude. I remember when that dude sat outside my door and said, and while I took the ASVAB a second time, this dude studied with me. And I'm gonna tell you right now, something I did for 25 years. I remember sometimes people told me, hey, because you can see right now, you can go look up your ASVAB score on my purse, right? People can see it when they pull your RIP. They can see your ASVAB score. Man, my ASVAB scores is horrible. like my ASVAB score when I retired from the Air Force, December 6, 2019, was not even good enough to allow an airman to come in December of 2019. Right, and that's why I was the kind of person I am, and I'll get to that in a second. I was hard on Pete, and I was hard on.
I'm gonna tell you about that.
Let me say this first. Let me say this before you tell me about it. Thank you.
No, hard ain't the word. Go ahead, Chief. Go ahead.
No, you know what? And I appreciate, I still got some sort of relationship with them because we talking right now. Things in life are not going to be for you. And they try to discourage you. And I always tell people, when someone tries to discourage you about doing something, that's what you should do, because they honestly believe that you can do it. And they're afraid.
Talk about that. Daily.
Daily.
Baby,
I mean,
daily.
outside the show, you know, just riding in the car to lunch, that very story right there. And
Well, let me tell you about him as a professor. So I don't know, even know if you remember, but he was my supervisor, and he was like, "Yo, how are you taking class?" And I wasn't taking class. I just finished my CDCs. I wasn't taking class.
okay.
And he said, "Send me your TA request." So he went on there. We did the little TA request. I don't remember how we did it back then. We did the TA request. He said, "You're coming." I don't remember what it's called. What that building was called, the MPF. It was on the second floor of the MPF.
Mhm.
And he was like, "You're coming to class." I didn't know what class it was.
Yeah.
Didn't know. I had no idea, but he was like, "You coming?" I was in there in uniform. I think he was in uniform too. We probably had about 15, 20 people in class. And I was sitting there, had no idea.
Don't know what you learned.
Had no idea.
You in there in Portuguese class.
Nah, but we was in there. He was like, "You coming?" I think it was an 8-week class, and all 8 weeks we was in there. You get, I mean, because you only have 5 years, and it would have been, time to go anyway.
No, time to go is when it's time to go.
Always hits me in the face.
Yeah.
Always
Yeah.
hits me in the face.
Yep.
What?
Your timeline is your timeline.
Yeah, time to go. And I've never. So I'm gonna tell you, and I'm gonna take 60 seconds to only go through this real quick. Pete, I joined the Air Force never to stay in. I escaped the situation. Because you're not a tech, don't mean you're less of a person or less of a leader, or going to end up on the wrong side of history some kind of way.
Right. You're saying the words why we put this podcast together. Everything you're saying is exactly why we put this thing together.
We watch so many NCOs and
better. And along the way, I'm grabbing Pete's, I'm grabbing the Cliffs, I'm grabbing the Steve Sinoffs, I'm grabbing all of these people I can grab. And I don't care what you look like. I don't care if you're a male or female. If you come in this way, let's go. There's enough room on this train for as many people who want to pack into it. And my philosophy was get on the train or get left. And I'm okay if you want to get left. I'm okay, man. I'm going to treat you the same. You're still my brother. But hey, the train is moving with or without you.
I'm telling you, 13 years he's saying the same thing he was telling me. The train is moving. I still remember that quote. The train is moving. Pete, where you at?
Right.
You can either get left here in Tokyo or you can get on the thing and see where it goes.
But you a testament to that being true words, real words. You know what I mean?
I walk in that office, none of y'all, I mean, we will talk about the craziest things in that office, and it'll be 4:30 in the afternoon, and then it'll be 5:30 in the afternoon, and people from other offices came to our office to talk about who's the best 10 hip hop, rappers ever, or who's the best basketball players, or and it just started, and I you don't know how much I cherish those moments, because you know what? There was accountability in the office. Everybody came to work on time. Ain't nobody taking no long lunches. And if you had a task to do, you're gonna do it. But 9 times out of 10, Pete, I never had to tell y'all to do anything twice. I never had to really lead in that office other than being the person who gave tasks and protected y'all and gave y'all direction and tried to take care of human beings. And you're gonna do what you need to do.
Mike, this take me right back to, like he said, the office, and it was so, and that's why I'm how I am today. Like, no long lunches. You know what I'm saying? Show up to work on time, because my job was to beat him in, which I don't think I ever did.
Yeah.
But that was always my goal. One day I'm gonna do it. Maybe it's his leave day or something. One day I'm gonna beat him into work. But I couldn't figure out what to drive.
No, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I probably took over your show, because I'm passionate about this stuff with people, man, that I'm passionate about, right? And I love the name of y'all show, first and foremost. And I want to thank both of y'all, man, because y'all are doing exactly what I try to push everybody to do. Step out on faith, man. And that faith has to be like, it don't matter how scary it is. It don't matter if it doesn't matter if one person listens to your podcast. Bruh, you got a podcast.